Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace. If you're new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my monthly budget for July, and I'm also going to be sharing with you what I'm going to be using to plan for my budget for the month of July. So I'm not going to be using this. This is just a binder with empty pages, and I set it up for the month of June just to meet my budget needs the way that I wanted it to. So I got tired of the rings, as you can see, and I'm going to be using something different for this month, and hopefully I keep up with it and like it. So it's just a journal from Michaels. It was $6.99, and here I'm just sharing with you the measurements and how it looks, just in case you guys want to get it. But it's just an empty journal, empty pages, and you can always get it for 50% off. So this is what I'm going to be using, and I'm going to share with you how I also set it up. So here I just set up my monthly spread, which I drew in, and here in this page I'm just going to go ahead and do my monthly budget. So I'm going to set up my income, my bills, and how much I plan to budget for each one of those. Now, I also wanted to share with you guys the reason why I just decided to use a journal. First of all, I hate that planners sometimes just keep you restricted to a certain layout. That's one of the things that I hate about budget planners. You don't have the flexibility to put whatever you want on it. And most of the time it's already written for you. And that's the main thing that I hate about it. So I decided to just go with this journal because, it's just a notebook. And I didn't necessarily want to do a spiral notebook. I didn't want to deal with any spirals or rings. I just wanted something very, very functional for me, where I didn't have to worry about that. So I thought, okay, a soft bound journal is probably the best way to go. Anyways, going back into the budget, here I'm just planning for my income and my husband's income, and I typically plan for the least amount. And that way, in case we do get paid a little bit more than the least amount, then it kind of seems like extra money for me. And then I'm just choosing some highlighters to color code the bills, which I love doing. Now, some of these bills, you guys, are fixed and some of them are variable. I like to keep them all together just because it gives me an overview of all the things that I have to pay for the month. And I know some of you like to keep them separate from, your variable from fixed expenses. When I don't know how much a bill is going to be, I typically budget based on last month's payment that I made. So if last month's payment was a little bit more, I typically keep it around the same or budget a little bit more for it, just depending. So typically the summer, for example, for electricity, it's going to be a little bit more just because we have the AC blasting. And this time around, I did know how much I was going to pay for electricity, so I didn't have to worry about that. For water, though, that bill is a little, it's a mystery to me still, because I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be due. I haven't received a bill for it. I know that it's either every 2 months or every 3 months, so I'm still going to plan for it just in case. And then at the end of the month, I'll come back and do my actuals. Here, as you can see, I'm just planning my color coding. So I typically just color code what paycheck I'm going to use to pay what bills. And typically the first paycheck is the one that pays the most expensive bills. And that third paycheck is all of my husband's paychecks combined, because he gets paid weekly. So I just didn't want to make a list of paychecks. I thought that was unnecessary because I just need to plan what he needs to pay. And I also like to budget for my cash envelopes and sinking funds. So typically what I'll do is I'll plan for all of my bills and savings first. And then the most important things would be the cash envelope for groceries and gasoline. And then after that, it's my sinking funds. And then after that, it's everything else, including all of the other cash envelopes. So here I'm just adding up all of the bills that I have to pay for the month. And again, some of those bills, I might not be sure exactly what the amount will be that will be due, but I'm still planning for paying a certain amount. And what I'll do if a bill happens to go over what I budgeted for is that I will use that extra cushion that I have on my checking account to pay for it. So there's always going to be some money left over in my bank account. I do not like leaving it at zero, even though they say you should plan a zero-based budget. I like keeping some money in my bank account. And everybody does things a little bit different, so it's just the way that you like to do it. Here, I'm just going ahead and highlighting the days that I'll be paying bills and when those bills are due. So you'll see me go back and forth with my highlighter and writing down the bills. So another thing that I have to plan for this month is 2 birthdays. So I have 2 birthdays coming up this month, one on the 14th and one at the end of the month. And then also, I don't typically, budget for like July 4th or those type of holidays. I typically don't do anything. And if I do anything, it's most likely going to be free. Watching fireworks is free. And to be honest, this year I don't plan on going anywhere. So here I'm just writing down my goals for the month. I typically like putting down some goals because honestly, I like looking back at my monthly spread and looking at the goals that I had for the month, and it does keep me accountable for that. So this month, I just want to be able to have at least 15 no spend days. I also want to not have a eating out budget. I typically order pizza, so that would mean no ordering pizza. So here I'm just laying down some stickers for my paydays and no spend days. I was only able to find 2 of those, so that's it. And then I'm just putting down some washi on my July budget so that it can look a little bit prettier, a little bit fancier. Again, I don't like doing too much just because I prefer it being more functional than decorative. And then that is the month of July, you guys. That is it for this video. Until next time. Bye-bye.